Good afternoon. It is Thursday, July 29th, 2010. Well, on Saturday I'm going to be moving into a new residence, so this will be my last video blog with all of this as a backdrop. Not sure what my new one will be, but well, anyway, I'll be doing that this weekend. I thought of a couple things today. First, I want to comment on the WikiLeaks story, which I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about. And there have been a lot of comparisons made about these leaks to the Pentagon Papers, which Daniel Ellsberg leaked in the 1970s. And of course, back then, Nixon condemned it. But that leak did a lot in turning the public tide against the Vietnam War. Now, I'm not sure it's going to have the same effect this time. In fact, I know it won't, because the American people just don't pay attention to this war anymore, and I think the Vietnam War got a lot more publicity back then. So I'm not sure I know it's not going to have the same effect. But my point is, I want to point out, again, and we talk about this a lot on here, the hypocrisy of the left. Because back in the 70s, of course, everyone celebrated the Ellsberg leaks, condemned Nixon because Nixon and the Defense Department tried to stop Daniel Ellsberg from leaking the Pentagon Papers. But now we've got Obama. The Obama White House has said that the leak was irresponsible, that the leak was bad for national security, and that was awful, even though it revealed all of these abuses that the U.S. Army is involved in Afghanistan, and a lot of civilian deaths. But the Obama White House has completely condemned the leak of these documents. Where is the outrage by the left that Obama is doing this? Obama should be celebrating that this information has been released, because now we know the truth about Afghanistan. And actually, I mean, you and I, we knew this before the leak, but the leak confirms it even further. But I don't see the left condemning Obama for this. In fact, I sometimes browse the website for the magazine, The Progressive. I used to subscribe to it back in the day, in the early 2000s. It was a pretty good anti-Bush magazine. They had an article the other day about WikiLeaks, and not once in the article did the author even mention Obama's name. He completely avoided Obama, despite Obama being commander-in-chief, despite him being responsible for all of these abuses because he's commander-in-chief, and despite the fact that he called this leak irresponsible. Now, if this story happened under the Bush administration, the Progressive magazine would have been slamming Bush directly, but they can't do that to Obama, because Obama's beyond criticism. You're racist if you criticize Obama too heavily. Of course, not all the left is like this. There have been some more principled members of the left who have condemned Obama, but for the most part, I don't see it. Huffington Post, they're all still supportive of the Obama administration despite all this stuff coming out. So anyway, and then one last thought I have. I was driving to school today, and my car is getting up there in age. I haven't had air conditioning in about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. I've gotten pretty used to it. But I'm driving along on Highway 66, and I notice that every single car that's passing me, or virtually every single car that's passing me, have their windows up, and hence using air conditioning. And that's fine, I don't have any problem with that. But Washington, D.C., this is a poll that was conducted recently, 85% of the city is supportive of Barack Obama. It's the highest percentage of in any city in the entire United States, because they all work for the federal government. So they all are Obama fanatics. I see so many cars passing me on a highway with Obama bumper stickers and such, but they all have their windows rolled up and they're using AC. It's complete hypocrisy, because here they are, they claim to be environmentalists, and they're concerned about global warming and climate change and all of that, but here they are, they're blasting their AC in their car. And yeah, it's I'm not making any judgment on anyone who uses AC, but I am making a judgment on someone who is a rabid environmentalist, quote unquote, who supports cap and trade, who supports all of this government legislation to stop what they believe is climate change, and it's just total hypocrisy to see them doing it. If they really believed in this stuff, if they had real principles, and they really believed that using too much energy was bad for the environment, they would be rolling down their windows like I am. I'm only doing it because I don't have a choice. But they would, if they really believed in this stuff, they would purposefully roll their windows down and not use air conditioning. If I really believe in those things, I mean, I would do the same thing. So again, it's just like the WikiLeaks story. It exposes the hypocrisy of certain factions on the left, and you know, and I'm not bashing environmentalism. I think real environmentalism is great. Conservation is good. Pollution, I mean, I think there should be. I think if someone is polluting the air over your property, that you have a right to get some kind of compensation for that, because that's violating your property rights. So I believe in these environmental tenets. It's when I see people who go on and on about global warming, but then they use all this energy all the time, sort of like Al Gore in his huge mansion, and he's using all this energy, and he flies in his jet all across the country, warning us all about how we use too much energy. But here I mean, if he really believed in his message, Al Gore would not be living this extravagant life that he is, because Al Gore is damaging, if his theories are true, Al Gore is damaging the environment way more than any of us are. And you know, anyway, so that's all I have to say. The last part 5 of my Federal Reserve series I'll probably make sometime next week. Hope everybody is doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.